everyone, this is Raymond Dexter from Saor Alba NL, the YouTube channel for Netherlands for Scottish Independence. Our guest tonight is Graham Brown. How you doing, mate?
Hello, how are you doing? We're doing fine here.
I'm doing pretty good, I doubt that many people don't know you, but for the people that do not know you, basically the people that we started the YouTube channel for, like the international support group for Scottish independence, to improve on that. Who are you, and what do you do for Scottish independence?
Okay, so I'll go back a wee bit further than
All right.
independence do, but if you don't mind. Okay,
No
so I'm a Dundee born and bred musician in Scotland. I was brought up on music. My whole family have been involved in music for years, and I sort of cut my teeth in music, doing the working men's pubs and clubs and stuff just locally around Scotland when I was growing up. And then by the time I got to the age of maybe 25, I started writing my own songs, and they always ended up being written about stuff that I believe in, and that ended up being Scottish independence. So as time went on, that got stronger and stronger and stronger. So then I decided to bring a band together, write these songs and produce them properly. And that's ended up in being the Graham Brown Band, which is now what we are, a three-piece Celtic folk rock outfit with original material. And I wouldn't even say most of it. Half of our set is about Scottish independence and folk music, and half of it is quite poppy and rocky as well, and commercial. So we've got all entities of music involved. And that's basically what we are. And because we've got such big anthemic songs about Scottish independence, that means now that we're asked to play all these big rallies and events that's happening across Scotland.
Yeah.
And obviously, because we do that, and I believe so much in it, I make sure that we can attend as much of these as possible.
Will you be playing in Edinburgh in October?
Yeah, we're also talking about an after party as well. So
Cool.
Because at these rallies, we only get a chance to play maybe 3 songs, you know.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got to get their shot, you know. But after party, we could also play even more, you know. So it gives us a chance to really get an audience going, you know.
Well, actually, I've known you quite a while now, because we've talked about getting you to The Hague a couple of times, but I've actually never seen you play live, and finally I will get that chance in October in Edinburgh. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Well, I always get a question: why do you care about Scotland so much? And I strongly believe that international support for Scottish independence is very important as well. What's your view on the importance of Scottish independence? Sorry, that's a given. But on the international support for Scottish independence.
You're right, it is very, very important. And the reasons I believe it's important is because for people that don't know the difference between Scotland and England and vast numbers of population, Scotland only have 5.3 million people population, whereas in England it's 68 million. So there's a huge difference, which means no matter what Scotland votes in any election UK-wide, it means that we can't decide anything at all. I mean, if the whole of Scotland was to vote Labour, for instance, and England votes Conservatives, then Conservatives win. You know, so it doesn't matter what Scotland votes. Now, international support comes in very handy for that, because it's a kind of backup for us saying that that's the problem we have here in the UK, you know. And that international support and European support, more importantly, I think, is huge for independence. And I believe there's going to come the time very soon when we're going to really need more of that support, you know.
Yeah, well, the thing is with the whole Brexit thing, there's a lot of I wouldn't say animosity, but more unfriendliness, you could say, between the European leaders towards the UK government. They were really sick of the whole delaying part of the Brexit. Well, I wouldn't even call them negotiations, but because they never had a plan to begin with. So, but and in an extension, basically to that, there were a lot of European leaders saying basically that if Scotland were to reapply for European membership, they would be fast tracked for that. Do you think the admission to readmission to the European Union should be connected to the question of Scottish independence itself, or do you think that should be a different question after independence has been achieved?
Yeah, I believe that it should be it should be something Scotland deals with after after independence, you know.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe that Scotland again would vote to be pro-European, you know. And I believe that's because Scotland is a pro-European country. So I mean, I have no doubt about that. But I think the way what things work politically in Scotland, we need to work on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
You know? And that's something that the Conservatives in England have done. They've managed to intertwine everything and make everything so so tangled up, you know, and Brexit. Yeah. And that's what they've done wrong, in my opinion. They should have just worked on one thing, done proper negotiations, and allowed Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland in the negotiations. Obviously, they excluded all the other nations, you know, and that's kind of backfired on them now, I think.
You know? Oh yeah, I mean, like it's hilarious, really, that Boris Johnson is now the new PM, just for the fact that he was the driving force behind the whole Brexit campaign.
Yeah.
Once he changed his mind on whether he was pro EU or was for Brexit, because he changed his mind on that. Then once the results came in, he stepped down.
Yeah.
And now Theresa May, as much as I dislike her, and I do, in my opinion, she was put into place as a scapegoat.
Absolutely. But then I think Boris Johnson is also a scapegoat.
I truly believe that with him coming to power, I wouldn't even call it power, but with him coming in the role as PM, it just improves on the chances of gaining Scottish independence. I mean,
absolutely.
There are a lot of people are now basically for the choice: do I want Scottish independence or do I want Boris?
Yeah. See, I live, breathe, and eat Scottish politics every day, and I live here in Scotland, and I've seen so many pro-unionist supporters turn and change just through the proof of what we've been saying for years, you know.
Yeah.
They're actually starting to see this now. And I do genuinely believe any kind of referendum on Scottish independence would now result in independence, you know.
Yeah.
Even if we had that tomorrow, that would be the case.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been, you know, me basically looking from outside in, I started to just inform myself on the whole situation, talking to people, watching online, and get knowledgeable about the whole situation. And a lot of people just watch the BBC and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, the BBC is designed to manipulate people's thoughts. Basically, it's a political movement for Westminster, you know. Yeah. And like I was suggesting before about the vast number difference in population, England will always rule that. You know, they will always overrule in this island. You know, no matter what happens, the only thing that could be good for this island is English independence and Scottish independence. Therefore, then we could treat each other well as neighbours. Yeah. But club together when it counts, you know, and things like
exactly.
that. But independence is just so important for both sides, I think.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, that's exactly what you just said. I said at the rally in The Hague last May, is that in fighting for Scottish independence, we're also fighting for independence for Wales, for Northern Ireland, and for England as well.
Absolutely.
Because the whole Tory Westminster government is toxic to everyone, not just Scotland, not just Wales, not just Ireland, but to the entire UK.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'm so fed up of being called anti-English, and that's one thing that it's a pet hate of mine, you know, and it's something that I always debate with unionists actually. To be called anti-English, I mean, I'm not against any English person at all. I've actually got family in England, My grandmother was born in England and stuff. So it's just when I think when the English people finally realise what Westminster are saying to them is wrong, when they find that out as well, uh, independence would really work for them also. They don't need to be tied to us. They certainly
No.
don't need to be tied to us. And it's nowadays, I don't think that kind of politics works. Domination politics just won't work nowadays. It's just wrong on all accounts. Even for England, even for places like Manchester and Liverpool, these guys suffer as well. Being up northern, the guys suffer as well, just as much as Scotland suffers. Really, London is the big entity, and London really is prosperous, but not the rest of the UK.
I mean, how else can you explain? There's this group online called English for Scottish Independence.
Yeah,
there are a lot of people in the northern part of England that basically said if we could vote SNP, we would vote SNP.
Right.
When you guys gain independence, can we move the border down? Stuff like that. You see that a lot of time, and there's just a couple of people saying that. There are a lot of people saying we would vote SNP if we could.
Absolutely. But I think if England had a version of SNP, which they probably will do soon, going the way things are going, then they could also campaign for the same thing as what Scotland's campaigning for. It's the right thing to do for this whole island, That is. It genuinely is.
Exactly. Well, we've talked about your music and playing at the rallies and stuff like that. But is there anything new coming up from you guys, album-wise, gig-wise?
Yeah, we just released a new single called "We Will Win." We've done the video. I think that was just released last night, actually.
Yeah.
You can check that out on Facebook and YouTube and stuff. We've got quite a lot of gigs coming up. Actually, we're putting a tour together for next year, hoping to get over to Germany for 4 or 5 nights as well, and other places in Europe as well. But that's under the planning state just now. We are also going to be recording a brand new album starting in September, so that should be out early next year, I think. So there's a lot of work to be done, and we're quite busy in the studio. But and any other kind of gigs that come up, which these kind of rally gigs, they come up last minute usually. So a lot of them are last minute. So if we're available, we're there. We'll be playing. We travel right across the length and breadth of Scotland for that.
Yeah.
From Oban, Skye, right down to Perth and so on. We travel all over for it. So just keep an eye on the Facebook, I would say, and the website. All the dates are there.
Well, there's one we two talked about, and that's not going to be last minute, and that's next year's The Hague event. And what we can announce now during the show is that on May 30th, 2020, the 4th annual March and Rally for Scottish Independence in The Hague will take place. And basically at the same place that we've had it for the last 2 years. And it's right outside The Hague Central Station in the center of The Hague. And the first place that we can announce, the Graham Brown Band.
Absolutely, and we are so overjoyed to be there. It's been 4 years, like you say, in the making, and it's just been bad timing over the last few years.
Yeah.
We can't get over, but this one's a definite. It's in the book. The guys have all agreed, so we are going to be there come rain or shine.
Well, that's actually exactly like you just said, that usually they come last minute, and basically when we talked earlier this year about the event in May, it was like 2 months before the event, and it just produced a couple of problems, agenda wise, and so what Graham and I talked about is, as soon as we know the date, give Graham a call so we can pencil it in. And so on May 20th, May 30th, Saturday, May 30th in The Hague, 4th annual rally for Scottish independence with the Graham Brown Band.
Yes, we can't wait. Also, that's my birthday week as well, so we're
really?
going to have a double celebration.
Well, a great place to celebrate. I mean, there's this little Scottish pub in the center of The Hague, Nat Kelly's, and you know, I know the owner personally,
Yeah,
Sharon Bata, and basically what we can do is just ask her if you can play there as well.
absolutely. I was going to say we could organise some kind of small concert gig for that. Yeah, so we
Yeah,
could play an hour and a half, and give you all the tunes. You know.
yeah. Well, what we could do is during the year get you in contact with Sharon, and like for the last 4 years, we've had the after party there basically, and it's always a blast there. Uh, the only thing that the last year we didn't have music there, except for our piper. So he played there right inside the bar. It was deafening. There were a lot of people like, ooh.
I'm used to that. It's okay.
But you know, yeah, we had a great time again, and yeah, now we you'll be there as well to enjoy it, mate.
Brilliant. Can't wait.
All right. Well, that's the interview, basically, guys. We'll have a new interview very soon. And if you have questions, if there's somebody that you would like us to interview, if you want information on the music of Graham Brown, go to their page or contact us, and we'll get you in touch. All right, Graham, thank you for the
Yeah.
interview,
As
and
always,
everyone, till soon.
it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.